Okay.
Okay, James, it's 6:59. You have 1 minute.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, what happened? He went out?
It sounds like he dropped off.
Yeah, sometimes he has this. We'll start and he'll come in.
He's coming in again now.
It's roll.
All right,
Okay.
Colonel.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Go ahead. He's on.
Hello, everybody. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talks Evening Edition. And we're here today, and my name is James Slim Overton, and we are here with the co-host, Leah Drake Stitt and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. How you doing, co-host? How's everything?
Great day. Great day.
Yes, it is.
Another great day.
Another Thursday where we feature our great HBCUs. And give me a minute here. I'm gonna try something like I've been trying.
Uh-oh. Let's hope it works.
Okay. Can you hear that?
Uh-oh, his hand is moving. Unmute yourself, doctor, so we can hear you.
Huh?
Unmute yourself.
Yard guarding our dear. I think if I sing, I think I talk over the music. I don't want the music.
All right now.
Hail, we're loyal sons and daughters, true to orange and blue. Our hearts beat warm with love for thee, from near or far from thee we'll be. Woo! Woo! All right. Hello, everybody.
All right, that was the Virginia State alma mater. And we are here as we've been featuring HBCUs, and we're here tonight with Virginia State University. And we are happy to have guests here. But before we get to our guests, we're gonna go to the Colonel. He's gonna do his disclaimer, and then we'll go to lovely Leah to introduce our guest tonight.
Yes. For those of you all out there in electron lands and across the world, the views listed on this program are those of the guests and the host, and not anybody else. It's just ours. Okay, thank you.
Well, it is indeed my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you the guest for this evening, for the evening edition of Portsmouth Coffee Talk. We have with us, I want to say, I'll do it the way you like to do it. We have with us Makola Abdullah, PhD, President of Virginia State University. Along with Makola, we have Mr. Windfred Ridley, who is the Tidewater President of the VSU Alumni Chapter. And it is indeed our pleasure to have you both here on this evening. And first with Abdullah, PhD. He is the 14th president of Virginia State University. He comes to Virginia State with an engineering degree from Howard University and a doctorate PhD degree from Northwestern University. He also, I must say, he is a gentleman who's doing an excellent job of branding Virginia State University. I mean, he does more social media than I. And that means you're doing a lot of social media. But we're going to talk about some of those things that he's been doing on campus this evening while we're here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Mr. Windfred Ridley, I got Mr. Ridley's name from my good neighbor, Annette Brockett. Annette Brockett and Charlie Brockett were great supporters of, well, Annette still is, but Charlie was an adamant supporter of Virginia State University.
Shout out to the Brockets.
Whenever you talk to Charlie, all Charlie talked about was Virginia State University. I thought no other place existed in the universe because he only knew Virginia State University. So it is indeed our pleasure to have Makola Abdullah and Windfred Ridley on Portsmouth Coffee Talk this evening. And now we get to the good stuff.
yeah. Before you get to the good stuff, and you being a Norfolk State grad, are you willing to admit that Virginia State is big state?
Well, Virginia State used to be big state. Then they became little state because of Norfolk State University. So I must say at this time, I would call them equal. They're both big state now, okay?
That's so diplomatic, but that's okay. Let's move on.
I'll let you get away with that for about 2 minutes.
You will forgive me. That was magnanimous, but I refuse to accept it anyway. If you go up in the house and you call your mama Big Mama, when you get to be bigger than your mama, you don't call her little mama. You still call her Big Mama. Now,
Big Mama still, right?
When you look at Virginia State, see, we still Big Mama. We still big state. You got to respect your mama now. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Virginia State is our mother, I must say, because we grew out of Virginia State University. So I will give you that Makola Abdullah, PhD. You have that this evening, okay? Well, I just want to say, one thing, the Virginia State University is 135 years old. It's 136 now?
140.
140 now. Wow. 140 years old. And as I mentioned earlier, Makola Abdullah is the 14th president. You followed Mr. Moore, right?
Ma'am, I followed Dr. Keith Miller.
Okay.
Was the 13th president, and Mr. Eddie Moore was the 12th president.
Eddie Moore was the 12th president. Yes. And as I mentioned before, I want to call you doctor, but I won't do that.
Hey, no, call, okay. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Abdullah has done an amazing job of branding Virginia State University. I have to give that to you. You are all over. You are out there. You are catching punts. You're still in basketballs. You're on the court with the cheerleaders. I mean, whatever is going on the campus of Virginia State University, you are there. And I must commend you for that. Because really, when James called me and told me that Windfred had told him that you were coming on board, I said, the president of the university is going to come on board? Are you sure? And most people ask me as well, are you sure? So Windfred, I must thank you for getting the president on board. But then I realized too, he does not miss a minute to shine.
When my alums call me particularly, and Mr. Windfred, I think you're on, Mr. Ridley, I think you're on mute. So if you were talking,
take yourself off mute, Mr. Yes.
Okay. No, and I concur with that, but that is all in putting the university forward.
Yes, it is.
All in putting the university forward. Whether he's doing his crossover or on Wavy TV 10.
Yes.
And he's made I think more than one appearance in Tidewater on our media platforms. Or whether he's in a meeting with the board or whether he's meeting with the alumni, all in putting the university forward.
Well, and also I can't, Mr. Ridley in the Tidewater chapter is one of the biggest and most important chapters that we have at Virginia State University. And I try to say yes as often as I can. And anytime that we can get to Tidewater, get to P-Town, and talk about the greatness of Virginia State University, we have to do that. There may be some students, some parents, some alums who need to hear the good word about VSU, so they can donate or send their child or send their grandchild. And so
exactly.
Whenever we get an opportunity to talk about VSU, we want to make sure we do that.
But one of my little Sankofa babies came to your campus last year. So she's on your campus and she's loving every minute of it. Nia Simone Winston. She loves being at Virginia State University and she's doing an amazing job academically there as well, I must
Oh,
say.
oh, that is fantastic. Those are the kind of stories I love to hear. You know, I really believe that we got some of the best people in the country at VSU, faculty and staff, who do some amazing work. And so to see that students are being impacted by that work, are going on to do great things. I had a young man in my office today who's interested in going to Morehouse School of Medicine to get his MD, and working with him to make sure that he can follow his dream is just so important. It's the kids. Let me stop. They may be listening. It's the young adults that
Thank
attend
you.
college here at VSU that make it all worthwhile. So
Uh-huh.
I'm proud to be the president of Virginia State.
And you know, and one thing when we talked about branding as well, there's one thing that I listen time and time again you're saying is that it's important for you to tell, for HBCUs to tell their own story.
Well, that's the one thing. When I came, you know, I was pretty decent on social media before I came to Virginia. But I actually said that in one of my first speeches that I wanted to use social media because, well, it's free, and it allows you to connect with the people directly that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. And the real victory at VSU is not really that I've got a decent social media presence, and I do, but that we have so many faculty, staff, and students that are also putting out the good word of VSU. It's not just me. Our deans, our vice presidents are trying to make sure that the work that they do hits everybody. And you know, look, we can't do some of the things that some of the other folks do because we don't have the communication staff. But we can, each one of us can tell the little stories that are happening every day at Virginia State University. And so I just keep encouraging people to do that, the small wins, when students do well in the class, or a student got an internship, or you help drive a young man to Walgreens to get his passport so you can go study abroad, or you help somebody tie a tie. All of these are the stories of our HBCUs, and they're not big stories. They're not going to make the news anyway, but they can make social media and people can understand the value of what happens at VSU.
And the value is that the students on campus, they are known by name. They are not a number, as in some of these larger universities. They are known by their name. And it means something when you're on a campus and people know who you are when you're on that campus. That's a great thing.
That's
and I'll
right.
ask you one last question. I'm gonna get to Mr. Windfred. You have spoken of VSU being an opportunity university. Can you share some information on that, please?
Well, I tell you, one of the reasons I say that is because, you know, I firmly believe that the first step towards greatness, the first step towards excellence is opportunity or chance. And that we have to continue to give young people an opportunity to chase their greatness, to change their lives, to be the best that they can be. And so we want to provide opportunities for young men and young women to drink from the fountain of knowledge and to their ambition satiated. We want them to major in engineering and business and education and social work and criminal justice, and come out and be the best that they can be. We want to provide them with the best facilities. We're currently building a brand new Harris Hall, $120 million building in the middle of campus. That's going to be the main classroom building on campus. We want them to have the best athletic fields. We're currently doing a major renovation to Rogers Stadium. We have the multi-purpose center.
$84 million multi-purpose center.
$84 million multi-purpose center. One of the best facility of its size in Virginia. If you want a quality education at an institution that has quality facilities for academics and athletics, you're not going to find a better place and as affordable as Virginia State University.
Wonderful. Mr. Winfrey, Mr. Ridley.
Hello.
President of the Alumni Association. How long have you been president?
I'm in my second term. I finished actually my first term will finish this June, and I'll begin my second term in September, formally.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, we've got about, right now, we're at in excess of, 70 to 80 members. Our membership chair is doing a wonderful job getting members to join our chapter. And we've had several members come in without us having to solicit them they've heard about us and they're wanting to join. Our membership information for those alumni listening is on our Facebook page. Excuse me, VSU AATAC, and there we make it easy to join our chapter. Looking forward to having our other alumni members help us with the heavy lifting that's going on at Virginia State University.
So your chapter encompasses Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, what
Virginia
cities?
Beach and Suffolk.
And Suffolk.
Don't want to leave Suffolk out. The 5
Wonderful,
cities on the
wonderful.
south side.
So what
However, we like coordinating with those members on the peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
If Peninsula, if you need help, reach out. We're there. And let me say that the chapter does a very good job, and its members does a very good job with students from Tidewater. We have an annual Welcome to the Family mixer that occurs in July. That mixer is coming up this July. Planning is underway for that. It's going to be at Chesapeake City Park. And once we meet those students who attend that mixer, our members stay in touch with them during the entire 4 years that they're at the university. They're willing to give, reach out a hand, and that does not happen often, but if necessary, make a visit to the campus or call and help them out. And that doesn't matter whether they may be adjusting to campus life. Some students are first time college students,
Mm-hmm.
and some students may have an adjustment period going on there, and they need that additional and ongoing support until they make that adjustment. And we love seeing them matriculate through the 4 years and upon graduation, come out and assume the citizenship that they're expected as graduates of VSU.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to call out some of my folks and tell them they need to join the chapter, like Morris Winston and Crystal Drake and David Drake. You need to join your alumni chapter. So hopefully they will listen and they will bring out all the others from the area who
whether you're listening in Tidewater or whether you're listening in Texas, join your local alumni chapter. Your chapter needs your help.
Even if they're in Italy, they can still join. Am I not correct?
Absolutely.
Just go to the website.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, speaking of which, if you could please give my best to Miss Brockett, I would really appreciate it. COVID kind of slowed us down, so I haven't traveled around the state like I used to, so I haven't seen her in a month.
All right.
Well, hopefully she comes on, because I told her that you're all going to come on tonight, but I will see her tomorrow. I will see her tomorrow, and I will definitely let her know.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Ridley, can I call you Windfred? Because after we talked, we found out we had some things in common. We were both at our respective colleges at the same time.
You can call me Win.
We probably saw each other.
WIN.
Those homecoming, those games that our union won, but we probably saw each other. And another thing, before I ask you a question, I want you to take care of this, because she gets on me, because I said when I went from Norcom to Virginia Union, it was easy to transition because I didn't have to change colors because we had the same colors. Tell your story about
when I came out of Armstrong High School, Virginia State was an easy choice because I took my orange and blue from Armstrong and transitioned right into Virginia State. That was very easy. And I wanted to be at home, but not too far away from home. And James, I'll share this with you, and I don't mind everybody else knowing. My dad gave me two choices. I had the military or college.
Mm-hmm.
So those were my two choices as I exited high school.
Yes, I think we had similar stories. Even the doctor down there had a story where Howard was the easiest choice he never made. But and I think I heard him say that on a video. And I remember receiving an acceptance letter from Virginia Union and don't remember applying, because my father was a graduate of Virginia Union. But let me get back to you, Windfred.
Yes.
You're part of the Alumni Association, and of course, Union has a strong alumni association here in Hampton Roads as well. We just had a virtual fundraiser where we raised $25,000 in 90 minutes. And so talk about how important it is for the alums that from Virginia State to support, the colleges that gave them so much.
Right. Supporting the university after graduation and after the alumni and alumnus settles in their community, that's extremely important, because giving back to the university helps students, and that's the bottom line. Helping students go from high schoolers to freshmen through seniors and graduating. And that does take money. In fact, we have a endowment fundraiser going on right now from now to the end of the year, where we are increasing our endowment. And among chapters, the Tidewater chapter has one of the largest endowments at the university, but we want to take that endowment and push it higher so that we can serve more students. And that endowment fundraiser for those of our alumni that are listening is going on from now. It started in February, but it's going on from now to the end of December. And we have a pledge form. While we would love for that money to come in with that pledge form, fill that pledge form out and get it in to the chapter. We have a Google Drive link that goes to the pledge form. And I will be posting that on our Facebook page and sending that out via email to our alumni members. And as soon as you can, fill that pledge form out and pledge some money to Virginia State, because it takes dollars to our endowment. It takes dollars to run that operation. And I heard somewhere that Virginia State expends somewhere between $15 to maybe $20 million a month, because it takes funds to, is that per month or per day, Dr.? I think that's per month.
That's about, we're about a $180, $200 million enterprise. So yeah.
Right, that's correct. And that money has to be replenished. It doesn't appear out of thin air. So VSU alum, Hampton University alum, Virginia Union University alum, send those dollars to Virginia State.
HBCU alum, support the HBCU.
Spread that money around.
Yes.
That's right. Let me get some of that. If you don't mind, Mr. Overton, I'd love to pick up some of that too. One, I want to say, I want to thank all alums, because the number one thing you can do is, I'm going to come back to money, but the number one thing you can do is to be successful in what you do. And then tell everybody that the reason for my success is that I went to Virginia State University, or I went to Norfolk, I went to Hampton, I went to Union, and brand yourself with your success with your institution, because that makes other people want to provide opportunities for students who are coming out, because they want the next Slim Overton. They got to go to Virginia Union to get it.
Exactly.
Right. When you're successful, make sure that you tell people where you went to school. Number two, though, man, we need the money. And we need the money because it's important that we support the dreams of these students the way our dreams were supported for us. And I ask all alums to give back to their story, right? Give back. If you are an athlete that need a couple extra dollars, and give some money to an athlete that needs a couple extra dollars, so that someone can follow in your footsteps and have the opportunities that you have. I believe very much in giving to HBCUs. Me and my wife, I can't tell you the total number. She'll be mad at me, but we gave a bunch of money to HBCUs, including most of it, of course, to Virginia State. But last year, I gave to every HBCU in the country, especially Norfolk State, because I had to give them money for their birthday. You know, mama got to give kids money.
You got to take care of the baby. You
got to take care of the baby. Got to take care of the baby. I think it's important that, one, everybody support your own HBCU. Two, support an HBCU that you know of, that you're familiar with. Make sure it's important that we all support our institutions.
And we are highlighting HBCU.
One of the things that why we do this, because we want, later on, we're going to extend it to sort of feature other HBCUs that a lot of people don't know about. We don't want to see another HBCU close because they could not get the funds. But before we go to the Colonel, I want one more thing for you, Windfred. And the Colonel, I see him with his hat on. He's never positioned his head that way where you can see that HU. Something about today, he had his head positioned So that HU stands out. You know, most of the time it's, you know, it's like this. So I'm gonna get to him. So I know he's anxious. But Windfred, I want to say this because we look at this too. A lot of people, alums that maybe live in other areas and went to Virginia State, but they live in places where there are no alumni. So it's to encourage them to join one of their, you know, like their hometown alumni or something like that, because no use sitting in Oklahoma and not being able to support because there's no alumni there.
Right. VSU alumni, whether you're in and I keep picking on Texas, but whether you're in Georgia, whether you're in Oklahoma, whether you're in Arkansas, California, as Ms. Leah said, whether you're in Italy, whether you work at the White House or the State Department, or wherever your job takes you, join your local alumni association, because the alumni association is the liaison to the university. If you want to make your voice heard by first joining your alumni association, support and work with your fellow alumni, and then stay in contact with the university and the alumni office. Talk to students, go to high schools about the Virginia State and all HBCUs. One thing, and I have not checked recently, but from time to time, we find that there's a dearth of HBCU pennants in high schools. And guidance counselors need to be made aware of the goodness and excellent education that comes out of an HBCU education. The camaraderie is great, yes. Participating in sports teams is great, but that education and the experience that comes out of an HBCU education is like no other.
You're right. You're right. Colonel?
No, you are so right. My last job out of the Army, I was the chief nurse executive for Cadet Command, and I had the responsibility of 524 colleges and universities across the nation. And I would always tell grandmas, grandpas, and parents, uncles, aunts, and all the GOs I worked for, that the better graduates came from HBCU schools. And earlier we were bantering across amongst us, talking about big state, little state. It just goes back to say, yes, this is a friendly rivalry, but all HBCUs are also tied at the hip, because we put out a product that is second to none in this world, in this country. I think in my personal opinion, and others have said that, we are better prepared once we leave our universities. Dr. Abdullah, you were talking about that young man that's thinking about going to Morehouse. I was going to mention Morehouse is great, and if he's looking for to have it funded, tell him look at one of the HPSP programs for the military to fund that program. And matter of fact, USU is Uniformed Services University for the military, is looking for people of color to go there. He could go there, do his 4 years, do his residency, come out as a doctor, doing whatever, and not have a dime of debt anywhere. So just, and that goes back to say, just us spreading that word amongst us and others, because he might not have known these two programs existed unless he talks to like you and me, and you're going to tell him next time you see him. Those programs are out there.
I'm definitely going to tell him. So I appreciate that. And I know his father served too. So I think his father would love for me to let him know that. So thank you for
it's all about being debt free and getting a high quality education.
Right.
Matter of fact, one of my friends, we had him on the show, Dr. Frankie Roberts. It was a Virginia State grad. He just retired as an OB doc. He got his medical school through MCV here in Norfolk, but it was paid HPSP, and his residency and everything was paid by Uncle Sugar.
And that's an excellent point, because with Tidewater being a military related area,
Yes.
from Williamsburg to Suffolk and through and through, it's very important that everyone get the word out about the opportunities that are available. But certainly with the five throughout the 5 cities, I would estimate that there's anywhere from 15 to 20,000 alumni, and 15 to 30,000 alumni in the Tidewater area. And I'm talking about Virginia State alumni.
Right.
And so if we include Hampton, Norfolk State, and what have you, and plus Virginia State is right down the road, we're probably talking, I would say easily 250,000, half million
if not more.
HBCU alumni in the area.
Yes. So if each one of those graduates or those who attended just gave a small portion, just a small portion, think of the economic power that they could give, that collectively they could give back to their universities. Because as I'll say now, and that's why Slim tells me to give the disclaimer, under the CARES Act, there was money set aside for HBCU schools. The Confederates are getting ready to take over in the next election, and that money is already cut off. We've already got a Confederate governor that's talking that stuff, and he's already talking about debt reduction. And so I think the money's going to our universities will be drastically cut down in the new fiscal years. And so we need to help ourselves through donations and expanding our endowments and what we give back to our universities.
I want to, I'm sorry, Leah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I want to just put a little perspective on Dr. Abdullah's point from a few minutes ago about the building that's going up. He did say $120 million is going to be spent on that building, but that's going to be money well spent, because that building is going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Abdullah, 170,000 plus square feet. It will be an excellent facility and will house faculty, student classrooms, athletic events as far as swimming and what have you. So when money comes in to our HBCUs and at Virginia State, that money is going to be well spent. Every dollar is going to go to its purpose and not going to be wasted. I just wanted to make sure that that point was made.
And Dr. Abdullah, Mackenzie Scott bequeathed you all with $30 million, am I correct? Are there any stipulations on that 30? And for those who may not know who Mackenzie Scott is, she's Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. So were there any stipulations placed on that $30 million that she gave the university?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And it is, I want to talk about that blessing, because it really is truly a blessing. You know, if they had some marital challenges. We don't wish marital challenges on anybody. But they had some. But had they not had marital challenges, and had she not taken a class when she was younger with Toni Morrison, if the murder of George Floyd hadn't have happened around that period of time, I'm not sure that we would have been blessed like that. And so when you start looking at the level of coincidence that has to happen for her to take on this kind of social justice aspect to giving, to philanthropy, it's just incredible. And she was blessed with so much money. Like, she's given away, I want to say almost to this point $500 million. Yeah. And she's worth more.
I think it's up to $1 billion now. I think I read somewhere. She's giving away.
And she's worth more now than she was then, because her money is growing faster than she can give it away.
Yeah.
But we got a call, and I'll tell you the story, because I got a call, an email in October of 2020 that said that it was from another woman who said that she had a donor who enjoyed the work that we were doing, and she wanted to know if I could talk to her for 15 minutes. And that's how long the email was, by the way. I'm not paraphrasing the email. That's exactly how long it was. Okay, I have done it again. I try to say yes. That's why I'm on this thing. I try to say yes, because you never know where the next opportunity. Exactly. And I speak to her the next day for 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, she said $30 million, Mackenzie Scott, unrestricted, what is your bank account information? Right. So I'm scared to death. Now you can imagine. I'm thinking that might be some sort of scam.
Yeah.
But we gave her the wire information for our account. It was in our account the next week. That's literally how fast it happened, with no restrictions, not one.
No restrictions.
No, man.
Yeah.
But I know that you're monitoring it well, and I know that you're making sure that the money is used wisely.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
Most of it right now is in a pseudo endowment where we're using the interest and not the principal.
Good.
Dollars. But what I like to tell people when they ask us what was the impact on Virginia State, the real impact was, if you can imagine. Now again, as I told Mr. Ridley was quoting how much we spend per month, because I was letting people know that $30 million is not enough to kind of shut everything down and everybody go on vacation. Right? I mean, we still got work to do, but it gave us the kind of resources where, if you can imagine on your own family, that you're not living check to check.
Right.
And you have an idea of being able to vision for the future in ways that you couldn't vision before, because you can take risks that you weren't able to take before. And so there are a lot of things we've done in terms of starting a new scholarship program in computer science and computer engineering, investing in some of our academic programs in ways that we thought would bring us more funds. Even some of the work that we're doing now in athletics to upgrade our facilities, that we decided to invest in some of our stuff and take some of those risks. And what we found is some of those have returned those blessings back in funds more than what we spent. That the enrollment, that from the scholarships that we've increased enrollment, we're able to bring in more dollars. And so she's given us the gift of visioning. She's given us the gift of looking forward into the future in a way that was different than when I first got here. And so I really appreciate what she's done. And if she's listening, who knows? You never know, right? Or if somebody else is listening.
You never know.
You never know.
It's after all, it's Portsmouth Coffee Talk. She's probably listening. We just don't know she's on here.
That's what I heard. That's why she called me in the first place. She heard something else.
She knew we were going to call you, so she said she wanted to get to you first.
There you go.
But I want to ask you about your agricultural grant, because I know I have a friend, one of our Norcom graduates, who is driving down on Saturday taking master gardening classes. So, in light of what's taking place with the supply of food items and things of that nature, eventually we may all have to put a garden in our backyard, okay? But can you just tell me about the agricultural grant that you have received?
Well, we are what folks will call an 1890 land grant institution, which is a long way to say that we are an HBCU that has been established to increase research, teaching, and extension in agriculture. And we're proud to be there. There are only 19 institutions, 19 HBCUs that have this distinction, and we're one of them. And because of that, we have a very active program in academics and agriculture, but also a very active program in research and extension. And two of our main things, as you mentioned, urban ag. Dr. Linda Gathinji, Dr. Marcus Comer work in urban ag, and then we do a lot of incredible work with small farmers, trying to make sure the small farmers and producers are have access to wonderful faculty who can help them improve their stuff. Bill Crutchfield runs that program and does an incredible job. And so we have folks on campus all the time to go through some of our demonstration projects in aquaculture, in small fruit. And we're really proud of the work that we're able to do. We got a demonstration urban farm in Petersburg, looking to build another one here in Ettrick. And so it's one of our showcase programs, is our agriculture program. And I'm really, really proud of the work that's being done out there.
And Dr. Abdullah, if I'm not mistaken, some of that work is international. Or rather, at least some of the students take the work international after graduation, at least.
You're absolutely right. Some of our research programs, we've got strong connections in Africa.
Good.
We do some joint research projects with some universities in Africa, and some of our faculty travel back and forth at least once a year to engage in those projects. I've been trying to join them for a while, and then COVID got in the way, wouldn't let me be great.
What part are they going to?
You know, you're not gonna make me lie. I can't. I don't want to miss. I know, but Dr. Vondi Mercy is an incredible researcher, and kind of leads many of those efforts. I want to say Kenya, but I could be wrong, so I don't want
Yeah,
to say that.
yeah.
Dr. Abdullah, you just mentioned, and by the way, Leah, shout out to Michelle Smith,
Yeah, Michelle Smith.
who is a Hampton grad and a member of the Divine Nine. She's Delta. She's the one that's going up there
Every Saturday.
taking those stats and bringing the knowledge she has back to the city of Portsmouth and sharing it with our youth because we don't know what the future holds for us as far as. But I want to ask you, you mentioned COVID, and I want to ask you, we all had challenges during that, closing down and things like that. Where is Virginia State now with that? And were there any lessons learned that might help in the future if we run across something like this again?
I think that's a heck of a question, my friend. Thank you, Mr. Overton. I think that I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad. I'm gonna start with the bad, and I will get to the good. The bad, it was easily the biggest leadership challenge that I've ever had, and the biggest thing that we've had to overcome at Virginia State. I remember when we first were sending students home, providing large refunds for students and not knowing where we'd find the money from. Planning to have a significant decrease in enrollment because we didn't know whether we were going to be able to open for the fall. Trying to get all of the classes taught online in a week's time, and trying to make sure that our systems were in place so that our staff could work from home so they wouldn't have to be on campus and be unsafe. And it was very difficult. And one of the things that it taught me was the ability to tell people sometimes I don't know. I think it was really the first time I stood in front of the faculty and staff and said, look, we're doing the really best we can. And people ask questions saying, I'm not sure I know the answer to that question. I might have it tomorrow. I might have it next week. I might change my mind tomorrow. But this is going to be a very challenging thing. And so it was, and early on when we didn't know that the federal government will kind of reach through and provide some assistance, when we didn't know that the state government would reach out and provide assistance, when we didn't know that Mackenzie Scott would reach out and provide assistance, we were very concerned about the future of Virginia State. And I think every president in the country, no matter what the school was, no matter how big or small, was concerned about the future of their institution. So that's the bad. The good, I almost get about to tear up because the way that the faculty, staff, and the students banded together in the face of one common enemy was really just incredible. We practiced a severe amount of shared governance. The faculty, the students, the staff, we all sat around the table, and then when we couldn't sit around the table, we sat around Zoom. We made many of these decisions together about whether to open or whether we were the only public institution in Virginia to not open our doors in the fall of 2020, right? And it took a lot for the faculty and staff, for me to make that decision that was against what everyone else had done. But I really felt like at the time it was best for our faculty, staff, and students. We made a commitment not to lay anybody off for a year. We weren't sure. Ultimately, we had the funds not to ever lay anybody off. But we made a commitment to that first year that we were going to give us a chance to try to make it and make it through. We did it with compassion. We did it with conviction, and we did it knowing that the Virginia State University is a people at VSU that make up VSU. And so I think we've come out of that stronger. The lessons we learned, the lessons I learned as a leader, the lessons we learned as an institution, the resources that we were able to bring forward, and how much we learned how much we love Virginia State University. That's the other thing, right? I mean, you love something, but you know you love it when it gets taken away, and you don't have homecoming, you don't have kids on campus. I mean, it was hard for all of us, and so now there's a greater appreciation now that we're back of being together, of being in an environment together, and so I'm in many ways, COVID-19 is and was a blessing for Virginia State University, and I'm proud to have led the institution through this crisis.
And if I can piggyback on that, going through the COVID-19, I remember the day. I'm a retired high school teacher, and my last day in my building was March 13th. And I decided to turn my preliminary notice in that day, not knowing what COVID would bring. But I often say that when you have to meet a challenge, that's when your character
Oh, yes.
normally
Mhm.
shines
That's
through.
right.
In
That's
fact,
right.
challenges build character,
Mm-hmm.
and our students have they've learned that. The faculty has come through, as Dr. Abdullah has said, and some faculty had no idea what Zoom even was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't because I had to teach from home in
Uh-huh.
2020, finish teaching my high school classes from home. And getting into that routine, yes, it was already being at home, but you better be careful about working from home
You're right
when
about that.
it's time to get up, and you have to do your planning and what have you. You're expecting students to come on at a certain time. Many were not there, and I'm sure the faculty may have had to follow up with some students who may not have turned an assignment in or may not have known what an assignment was uh, when it was due, or what have you, or for that matter, if they happen to not have the proper technology at home and may
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
have had to go to the library.
Right.
That experience that COVID has wrought, I think, has made all of us stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And when what's the saying? When someone catches a cold, black folks
Yeah,
catch the
yeah,
flu.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was uh, that's been a particular challenge. So I prayed then and continue to pray for all
Mhm.
for the success of all our students at Virginia State and all of our HBCU students. Hang in there, folks, because the end of the tunnel is
Yes,
going to be bright.
indeed. Well, Dr. Abdullah, I've heard some people talk about not wanting their children to go because of Petersburg area and the surrounding community. Well, I know for some reason I'm getting feedback, but I know that you are engaged are not only building the university up, but you're also involved in the building up of the surrounding communities. Am I not correct? Could you expound on that, please?
Well, yes, ma'am. Well, first, I'm a resident, a proud resident of the city of Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
I live smack dab in the middle of Petersburg, and I believe that it's important that Virginia State has to be a beacon of hope
Mm-hmm.
for the entire region. And again, not that we're trying to save the region, because we're a
Mm-hmm.
part of the region. We're all trying to save each other. We're all trying to bring each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Virginia State is an important partner in that. We have a number of collaborations with the school district. The new acting superintendent, Julius Hamlin, is a graduate of Virginia State University, got
Great.
his doctorate at VSU. The chair of the board for the school board is Mr. Pritchard. He's a Norfolk State graduate, I think.
He's a wonderful man. He's a
He's
wonderful
a
man.
he's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful man. But partnering with the mayor, with the school board in Petersburg and in Ettrick, um, I believe firmly that one of the things that we can do as Virginia State is we can just bring everybody back. We are, again, as I mentioned earlier, 170, $180 million enterprise. We spend 50 to $60 million just on human resources on folks here who work at Virginia State University. The more people that I can get who work at Virginia State University and live in Petersburg, the better Petersburg is going to be.
Yes, you're right.
Right?
You're
And
right.
so, as we continue to work in partnership to bring economic development to the area, to work with the schools, to bring the schools to do what we can,
Mm-hmm.
and bring more bodies to Petersburg, we can have a more vibrant community. So I'm committed to that, and I'm also committed to the idea that you don't run from your challenges, and you
Right.
don't run from your people.
Mm-hmm.
You run to your people.
Mm-hmm.
You run to those challenges.
Exactly.
So we are proud to be in Ettrick and of Petersburg. That's
Yes.
important to us.
Yes. And then share a little. Go ahead. I can see you, Mr. Ridley.
I
Win.
was I was
I see you, Win. Go ahead.
okay. I was just going to say, and Dr. Abdullah may know this already, but there is a former elementary school in Petersburg called Virginia Avenue that has been sold to a developer, and I am hoping that VSU keeps his ear to the ground. I don't know a lot about that development. I do a little bit of real estate development myself, but I'm hoping that VSU may be able to partner with the developer when that enterprise gets going, if it fits, if it fits, of course. And in that particular area of Petersburg, it's called the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And and when that development gets underway, I'm hoping that resources will be brought to bear by the city and the state, okay, and to the extent that it's possible with Virginia State to get that enterprise underway. I don't know what the plans are for it and what have you, but things are happening in Petersburg that, and I like to say it's Petersburg's turn.
It is. It is.
That is no longer Colonial Heights' turn or Prince George's turn or what have you, but it is now Petersburg's turn.
And while my fellows are thinking, because I see their brains, the brains working. But Dr. Abdullah, will you share with us information on your teaching grant?
Oh, teaching grant. We had we've got the You Teach grant now, and actually my dean just posted something on LinkedIn about the You Teach grant. So that's a partnership where we got half the funds from the state and another half from the private donors to start what we call the VSU Teach Fellows Program. To recruit folks to come to Virginia State University to learn how to be really the best educators that they can be, particularly as it relates to STEM programs. We know that in many of our schools that science, engineering, technology, and mathematics teachers are more and more difficult to find, particularly who look like us.
Right.
We want to make sure that we make an impact in the state. I believe, by the way, that the other institution, I think its colors are green and gold. I believe that they also have a very similar program.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Behold the green and gold. We do.
Behold the green and gold. But it's something that Virginia State and Norfolk State are working together.
Right.
Really improve the Commonwealth. And I love working with my partners. By the way, all of the presidents, Dr. John Adams Gaston at Norfolk State University is a very dear friend of mine. As you all know, I have a bunch of jokes when I'm talking about Norfolk State. I'll be honest with you, I wrote some of her material, so when I tell jokes, she can tell jokes right back, because I got to get things ready for me. And then my good friend Dr. Lucas at Virginia Union, he doesn't need help. No. He can come at me as hard as I come at him. And so, but I love all of my HBCUs, and I can't wait to meet the general from Hampton as he begins his term and replaces the incomparable Bill Harvey at Hampton University. So I'm proud to be at in Virginia at Virginia's HBCUs.
Yeah. Listen, and I have a good friend of mine working there, and I told her that when I mention her name, you better not frown your face up or your eyes go up into the sky. Patrice Perry Rivers.
Yes.
I raised that child.
Patrice Perry Rivers, Dr. Patrice Perry Rivers is a star here at Virginia State University in our College of Business, at Lewis College of Business, helping to run an entrepreneurship center. And
I know she's trying to get my youth group involved in the entrepreneurship program. So I just talked to her yesterday evening. So
good. Well, you have to say yes to her. I said yes to you. You gotta say yes to her.
I have to say. She challenges me with so many things, I just said yes about something else. So I told her, I said, now when I mention your name, I hope his eyes don't go up into the sky, No, she's great people. She's a lot of talent there.
Yes, she is.
May I ask Mr. Chapman a question?
Yes.
I read the other day that Hampton University has a small business incubator in the Phoebus area. I don't know a lot about it. I just found out about it. So I just wanted to make sure I put that bug in your ear, because I would like to know more about that and to maybe see if something like that can be copied. And maybe the president has something like that in mind. He's very forward thinking. I'm sure maybe the proposal may have been put forward to him. And there may be something. Of course, I don't know everything.
You're a good president.
I think I do.
Let me say one thing. You are a good president for an alumni association. Believe me, you are the best.
Well, I like to read and I like to keep my ear to the ground. So I would like to learn more about that small business incubator and find out what's going on with that. And if Virginia State does not have one. Again, I don't know everything that's going on at the university, but if we don't have a small business incubator, we maybe could get one going and or expand what we have. I just wanted to make sure I threw that out to the colonel before I forgot.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Lieutenant General retired Williams, when he comes, he's going to make some changes down in Hampton, and they're going to be good things. Good things are going to happen in Hampton. I can guarantee it. And he's a good man. I've met him before. And I have one comment though. When I think the doctor was talking about, all of us were talking about STEM. We also, in the military, we also add nursing to our STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and nursing as the other leg to the STEM degrees. And so, but it leads us to, what is Virginia State doing for the recruitment in the high schools? So you can have that, what we call the feeder programs for those kids to get them motivated to come to Virginia State or other HBCUs.
So we have strong outreach to the schools. This year it's probably been one of our better years. I'm just so proud of Dr. Lexus Brooks Walter, who works in our, who's our Associate Vice Provost for Enrollment Management. Right now, we have twice as many students who are giving us a deposit to come to Virginia State than we had last year around this time.
I heard that news. Excellent.
Yes.
We have almost gotten to a point, and this, by the way, this hasn't happened while I've been here. We've almost gotten to the point where we've made our class in this May.
Mm-hmm.
The VCAN program, which is a program that, again, Virginia State has, but also Norfolk State has, that allows students in a 25 or 45 mile radius, I forget what the number is, and are Pell eligible to attend the institution for free, has gotten out in a way where local students who are right around our areas, and again, not just African-American students, but Hispanic students, white students, Asian students, are now turning and looking at Virginia State, saying, I need to take a look and see what's going on over there. The same is happening for some of the kids who might be in our area, who might also look at VCU, or in the Tidewater area, who might look at ODU, are now giving 2 looks to Norfolk State and 2 looks to Virginia State. We offer very competitive scholarships. Our programs are very affordable, and we're beginning to get that word out through, as you said, Mr. the branding of the institution.
Exactly.
We're trying to make sure that the words Virginia State University are in people's minds. So when it's time to go to college, look, college is a very individual choice. Virginia State's not the best decision for everybody. But we want it to be on everybody's list so that people can give it a shot.
Exactly.
We had an open house 3 weeks ago. We had 600 to 700 students on campus, and with their family members, we had almost 1,800 people come to campus. We've never had an open house that big. And so we are very serious about making sure that we strengthen our relationships with high school counselors and with young people. And we want them to give Virginia State University a chance, because we believe you can get there from Virginia State University. Wherever you're trying to go, you can get there.
Yeah.
By coming to VSU.
Well, I had one of my little Sankofa young men who wanted to go to Virginia State, but his grandmother won out. He's going to Norfolk State.
Okay, here's the thing. What you can do is you can give me his phone number. Or give me grandma's numbers. I don't want
grandma.
Let me tell you what, if you're gonna give him some money, I would definitely give you his number, okay?
Watch it. Give me grandma's number. Are you grandma?
No, I'm not grandma. I'm not
okay,
grandma.
just checking.
But he really wanted me to convince his grandmother to let him go to Virginia State. But how could I turn on Norfolk State,
I love Norfolk State. Norfolk State's a wonderful institution. I'm sure it's a fantastic education. But if I can make one last pass at grandma, you can send me her number. I'll call grandma.
I'm gonna send you her number. I'll tell her I talked to you and allow you to speak with her. So.
And if he has a younger brother or sister in elementary school, Norfolk State can have them when they come along.
So you pass one or the other, right?
We'll make that trade.
But Doc, and when this is our purpose for doing HBCUs, because now we have a lot of, because I was at the high school today, and we still have a lot of students who have not yet decided as to where they really want to go. And this way, I know most of the kids are not watching Portsmouth Coffee Talk, but their parents are on here. and their parents can hear about the wonderful things that are going on at Virginia State University, at Norfolk State University, at Hampton University, at all the universities, and give them a chance to decide, help them to give them material so they can make a good decision as to what's a good fit for their child. So, and that's the reason why we're doing this. But I want to mention one, I know James ready to say something too, but I want to mention one other thing. I got a group of little people, my little youth organization. Well, as I tell everybody who comes on here, I'm beginning to take them to HBCU campuses now, because many of them have parents who did not go to college. And I'm trying to instill in them, even though they're in elementary school, I'm trying to instill into them the fact that you need to look forward to being able to do something a little more than maybe what your parents did. And this is what's available to you. So I'll be calling you. I'm coming on your campus.
Look, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think if kids that age, it's what they see. They don't even have to hear it. If they see other young people walking around campus, they see that 2 or 3 times from 2 or 3 different campuses. It will ingrain in them that this is an option for them. But if they don't see it, it's hard to convince them that it's something that they can do.
Exactly.
So just showing them as many times as possible, I think you'd be surprised what kind of impact. And so yeah, we can, we'll give them a lunch, feed them some pizza when they get here, and I want to talk to them myself.
It would make a good day for them, believe me. And I will be calling you.
All right.
I'd like to say, and on that recruiting open house you had, I'm so glad to hear we had 1,700, almost 1,800 parents and prospective students on campus, because that weekend I was invited to the Boys and Girls Club for a recruitment fair.
Okay.
And we had people that from Virginia State scheduled a show, but there was a call for all hands on deck. And I'm glad that those hands showed up. I went and did my little part at the Boys and Girls Club. I had a little table set up for recruiting, what have you. I talked to several high school students. We had a drum line to come through. I believe, I don't have those notes in front of me, but I believe 2 of those students committed to Virginia State, I believe. I have to follow up with the band director who was there. But we had a great time. I was invited there by one of our alumni members. And when I got the call, I said, sure, I'll show up. So I was a little rushed on my recruiting skills, but I have to return to campus and go to the alumni office and the recruiting office, make sure I get brushed up on those.
Well, look, I had to tell you, I'm still at work, and my wife told me to be home at 8.
So, we promised you an hour, didn't we?
I can't get in too much trouble, but I got my best. Since this program goes out in Tidewater, I can say that Mr. Ridley is the best Alumni Association president that we have at Virginia State. Because I hope none of the other ones are listening. And I also want to tell y'all that I really appreciate it. If I'm gonna hang out with some folks from Norfolk State, Virginia Union, and Hampton, I'd rather it be y'all than anybody else. Y'all.
All right.
Dr. Makola,
thank you for coming.
Abdullah, we surely appreciate you. I appreciate you so much more now. But when I went and started Googling you and looking at all the things you were doing at Virginia State, I said, you know what? I think if I were a student getting ready to go off to college, I think I would definitely choose Virginia State College.
All right.
All
right. Glad to hear.
Virginia State University. Okay. So I would definitely, because you're branding well. Your branding is great. You're doing an amazing job there at Virginia State University.
Come on, Leah. You said that about Hampton last week.
I did not. I never said that about Hampton. Don't you do that to me. Now listen, my daughter, my husband, my uncle, my son-in-law, and my daughter all went to Hampton. So there's never been that kind of talk coming from me for Hampton. I'm from Norfolk State, we beat the Battle of the Bay on this side, but anyway, but I just want to say, I really appreciate you so very much, even more now since having the opportunity to talk to you. I appreciate you. And let our co-host say something to you before you dash off into the night, Colonel.
Well, I'd like to thank both of y'all for coming up there, coming on this show. And, we're talking about fighting over that one child that wants to go to Norfolk State and then that. But as an independent person to stand out there, that child is has a win-win.
Does
Wherever
have a
he
win-win.
goes,
Yes.
he's going to be first class. He's going to get a first class education as long as he stays at, stays right where he's going. If he goes to Virginia State, he goes to North State, Hampton, or any HBCU school, it is a winner.
It's a winner.
And
That's for sure.
As the independent part of me saying, that's my piece.
Thank you, Colonel Slims.
Wanted to say, some of the North State people can't take jokes, but anyway, I wanted to say to you, I know our grades, it could be because of that orange, I don't know, but I wanted to ask you this. How is the athletic program going? Because Union's going to need some competition when the fall comes. We can't let Maryland schools and North Carolina schools come in here and take over the Virginia schools. So we're going to need some competition. So how are you looking there?
I think we're going to look real good this year coming up, Mr. Slim Overton. Not only that, but we're trying to plan and I probably shouldn't talk about it because I know it's not announced, but trying to plan a basketball kind of event featuring Virginia Union and Virginia State, on campus. Not us playing each other, playing other people, so we can beat up on other people together. But I got love for Virginia Union, except when we play y'all. Then we're gonna show you how good we are, my friend. But it was a pleasure. It was really a pleasure hanging out. Thank y'all so much for having me. And anytime you want to have me on, you know how to get to me. President Ridley will.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullah,
Thank you, Dr. Abdullah,
for accepting the invitation and participating in the Portsmouth Coffee Talk this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. Have a
Take
good
care.
evening. Tell your wife thanks for lending you to us for a short period of time.
I promise.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care. Well, Mr. Ridley, thank you so very much.
Thank you for extending the invitation. I certainly appreciate it.
And if Annette has not been on, I'm going to surely call her and tell her to go to the page and watch. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground this
Yes.
evening, and thank you for your insightful questions and your interest in putting this issue forth and keeping it in front of the community.
Mm-hmm. James,
thank you for what you do for the university. We all have to play our role, our part in making sure we preserve these HBCUs.
Right, and I'm sure we'll be talking some more, James, and Leah and Colonel. I'm sure I'll be reaching out to you because we could all collaborate together.
And sometimes if you have something going on with the organization, you can call us.
Okay.
And let us know. And if the slide is not taken, I'm sure that James will find a way to get you on.
Yes.
James?
Very good.
James?
I'll finish.
No, you're not.
I just want to let me close with this because it's a little different spin on Virginia State's alma mater, Nance Buffin.
VSU alma mater, Virginia State University, written by yours truly, Johnson. Hell State, y'all. The warm, smooth daylight is sparkling. The trees like guards they stand. Hell State, on the star of Virginia's land. Place of graduation, so delicate yet strong. Young generations assemble here to drink from your waters and take in the atmosphere. Hell State, Hell State, Hell State. Hell State, Hell State. Loyal sons and daughters, yeah, that's us, yeah, that's us, yeah, that's us. True to the orange and blue, with love in the hearts, near or far, it will always be. Hell State, Hell State. Virginia State, Virginia State, Hail State, Hail State, Hail State.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time. And thank you
Wait.
again.
Before you go, let me do one thing for Mr. Ridley just said something. Let me see something, Mr. Ridley. Just a minute.
Do you find we can address it
Okay,
after we
what
get off?
I know what I have to do, Mr. Ridley, and I would take care of that as soon as we get off the air, okay?
Okay.
Oh, I know. Okay, I'll take care of that. I know what took place. I know what happened. So I'll take care of it, okay?
Fantastic.
All
Fantastic.
right. Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank the three of you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
And if you're ever going to have a forum, maybe with the chapter presidents or chapter members from other alumni associations, call me.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that we need to have a forum between all the alumni
Yeah.
locally here. It's probably some things we can do together,
Sure.
do our
Excellent.
separate fundraising events, but we can do something together just to come together. It doesn't have to
Sure.
be a series.
Sure. Okay.
And
All right.
I just corrected that problem, so they should be able to go on my page now and see.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll have to thank Annette.
right.
She did a good job.
Okay. Well, thank you. I was a bit nervous. Hope I didn't show it, but
No,
I
you
was
didn't.
glad to be on. Glad to be on.